This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology, a division of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Tuesday morning, October 2nd, and you're listening to KSJE 90.9 FM. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. Thank you for tuning in this morning, and a special welcome to our folks who are watching us live this morning from our visual radio studio on Facebook and the KSJE channel on YouTube. Coming up in just a moment, my guests from the Family Crisis Center this morning. We'll be talking about them. October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Also a big fundraising event coming up later on this month to benefit the Family Crisis Center. That is coming up in just a moment. Also this hour, around 8:30, we'll turn to politics, and my guest, Chris Manning, will be here. He is a Libertarian Party candidate running for Congress in District 3. We'll hear about his campaign this morning at 8:30 on KSJE. And we'll round out the 8 o'clock hour, as we do every Tuesday. We talk to folks at the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter, and they will be sharing with us some of the pets that are available for adoption. And if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see the pets that we are talking about. So that is coming up as well on KSJE. We hope you'll stay tuned for the entire hour. Roving with the Arts comes your way at 9. Mick Hess will be along with Arts News, and he is playing more Bach cantatas for us. That's today at 9 on KSJE. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. And as I mentioned, let me turn to my guests who are here with us in the studio from the Family Crisis Center. Alexa Carmona is here. She is the Outreach Coordinator and Domestic Violence Counselor with the Family Crisis Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Good to see you and have you here as well. Bo Harwood is also here, the event coordinator for the Family Crisis Center. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
And let me start with you, Alexa, about the Family Crisis Center. You've been there since August, you were telling me, right?
Yes.
And so this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so the Family Crisis Center offers services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? You've got a hotline and you've got counselors standing by and things like that, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have the hotline. If you call 2 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, we'll have someone answer that call.
Right, and that's important to be available at all times, right?
Yes.
And talk to me a little bit about some of the signs for domestic violence. If someone's in a relationship, what should they maybe raise a red flag or be concerned about if it's happening in their relationship?
So some warning signs of an abusive relationship would be if there's history of violence. So say one partner has had a history of violence, always controlling like the conversation, like what the person says or where the conversation is directing.
Right.
Also with that, like having verbal abuse, like being verbally abusive or always being forceful.
And this situation, domestic violence, it really knows no socioeconomic boundaries. I mean, rich and poor, ethnic boundaries. I mean, it affects everybody, doesn't it? There are examples of domestic violence in every type of relationship, I would think.
Yes. And but the domestic violence does not discriminate. It doesn't go from age or, like you were saying, socioeconomic status, race, religion. It does not discriminate. Right,
and that's important for folks to understand. I think that they could find themselves in a domestic violence situation, even though they may not fit the typical domestic violence situation, which we just said was not. There is no typical situation.
And there's different forms.
Right.
And people usually think of physical being domestic violence, but we see it in verbal, emotional, sexual.
All those things.
Yes.
Gotcha. And that's important.
Yes.
Bo, let me turn to you a little bit about your work at the Family Crisis Center with domestic violence and things like that. How long have you been there?
Actually, I've been there back in 2014.
Okay.
I believe that was the correct year before I left the house and came back and started doing work as their event coordinator.
Right.
So I was actually doing what Alexa is doing right now, doing community outreach. I was not a counselor, but I was able to go out in the community and educate people, and by helping them understand, they can be upstanders than being bystanders regarding domestic violence.
That's a good point. I imagine there are a lot of times maybe when people's friends might think that there is a problem and maybe they can see it, but the person in the relationship has a hard time maybe seeing that they are being manipulated by their partner or something like that. Is there something that a friend can maybe do to talk to a potential victim of domestic violence, to maybe have them talk to a counselor or have them realize maybe the situation that they're in?
You can actually encourage them to let them know that you're standing right there beside them. There's the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. We know that, being there for them as a friend is the best thing you can do, and give them that support and give them resources. Most people don't know that the shelter here in Farmington is not just for women and children. It's also for men and pets as well. Mm-hmm. Most people don't understand that and know that that's what Family Crisis Center provides for Farmington and all of San Juan County.
Right. And that's a great point, too, that it's not just women who can find themselves in a domestic violence situation. Men can find themselves in that situation as well.
Correct. And it's also open to everyone, all walks of life. It could be from the LGBT community, especially the transgender community as well, who are more susceptible to violence in their lifetime as well. So we're there, and everyone at Family Crisis Center is trauma informed on accepting everyone and, basically catering to their needs and basically just getting them out of the situations that they're in.
Good to know. And again, I think we're so fortunate to have an organization like the Family Crisis Center in our community, providing these counseling services for couples and folks who are survivors of domestic violence, and also the shelter as a place for folks to go. Because a lot of times, I think in some of these situations, or many of them, the person, the survivor, maybe they've come, I forget what the statistic is, but there are certain times that before they actually leave the relationship or leave the home, they've had a domestic violence situation several times in the past. 7, is that the number?
Yes.
Thank you. I knew it was a shocking number, but I couldn't remember the exact one. But it takes 7 times for folks to finally say, some people to say, I think I need to make a change. And that's a big step for folks, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And having that fear of the unknown, like not knowing where to go, not knowing if the financial situation's if they're gonna have enough money to raise their children or themselves.
Right. Especially if the other person in the relationship was the primary income earner for that family. Mm-hmm. It's a big change and a big unknown for people.
Yeah. And another thing about the shelter here in Farmington, each client is allowed to stay 90 days in shelter. And after that, they're assisted with the transition process of finding a new place to go, having a plan. That's what we're able to do and provide at Family Crisis Center. And
that's a big part of it too, right? Not just to say, here, you can stay here for 3 months, but also then what's next? And how can do you have a job? Do you have a way to support your family, your children, and find another place to live so that it becomes a full-term solution, I suppose, for these folks?
That is correct.
Very true. My guest this morning from the Family Crisis Center here in Farmington. We are talking about October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and there's also a big event for the Family Crisis Center coming up later on this month. And Bo, talk to me a little bit about Boots and Bling.
Okay. Boots, Bling, and Swing is actually a fun event that started 2 years ago, but before that, many years before Boots and Bling and Swing started, Family Crisis Center actually had the New Year's Eve celebration. But the first year they had Josh Grayson, last year they had Emerson Drive, and this year we have an up and new coming country singer from Seattle by the name of Aaron Crawford. And we also will have our local favorite, Minch, who will be singing there as well. The event is on October Saturday, the 20th, and it's going to be hosted at McGee Park Convention Center. So we like to see that whole place packed out with a lot of people there to support and help fundraise for Family Crisis Center. We know that domestic violence is not an attractive topic to talk about. That's why everyone's like, get pinked and let's get this done, about breast cancer. We're not trying to say or compete with that. It's just two different causes, 1 month, and both of them are basically to promote survival.
Sure, exactly.
And so that's why we're having this huge event on October 20th. There's a lot more things going on that day, but we're just hoping that we do get one night of country dancing, a country concert for everyone to enjoy. We actually do have tickets on sale right now on our website at Family Crisis Center. Their ticket prices are there. The single concert ticket is $75 with dinner and $100 for a couple. So if you are not a couple but you have a friend who wants to go, team up together and get that pricing. We also do have concert tickets just for the concert and start at $25. Again, if you have a friend or you're a couple, go in at $40. We're going to have an open bar there as well. Bunch of stuff that we can have as entertainment as well. Besides the music, we have a catered dinner that evening for the dinner portion, and then we also do have a live auction. A lot of businesses here in Four Corners have actually provided for that auction as well, and we actually have awesome supporters for our event, and I would just like to go ahead and appreciate and let them know, because our huge sponsors this year is Citizens Bank, KOB, the Granger Foundation, Laundrytopia, American Classifieds, and the Allstate Foundation, and a lot of more small businesses that there's so many that have helped with us, and we're grateful for them.
That's great, yeah. And again, it's fundraisers like this that help keep all the things we've been talking about, the counseling and the shelter and things like that, free to people to be able to use in these emergencies, right?
Exactly. Most people don't understand that last month they spent close to more than a little bit over $3,000 in food alone to feed the people in shelter. So even people who come in like new mothers into shelter, they have nothing. They leave home with nothing, especially just like the rest of our clients. And so with new mothers who have new babies, they need a car seat, they need a crib, they need new clothing, Pampers, and all that stuff that's needed for that newborn and the mother. And
I'm not familiar with the statistics, but I can imagine that you are pretty full all the time at the Family Crisis Center, at the shelter, and with counseling and people that are coming for your services. It's an unfortunate situation that we have a lot of relationships that are just not good.
Right, that's correct. Even just for the current social climate here in our county with all the recent closures that are happening.
Economic downturns kind of spark domestic violence sometimes in relationships, I would imagine, if there's stress in the relationship and things like that.
Yes, it brings a lot of stress to the families. Also, we get a lot of, most people don't understand, is we get elder abuse as well. And that's one thing that most people forget to talk about as well.
Well, and we were talking a little bit about the socioeconomic and ethnic, and there's no really limits, and there's no age limits either, right? Someone could be in a marriage for 50 years and still it could be a domestic violence situation or devolve into that. It may have not been that way for 50 years, but it could be. Right.
And we have a lot of people we hear from who's like, well, we don't talk about that. We've never talked about it. But now we're coming into a new generation and a new age where we're empowering a lot of people to take their power back. And that's what it's all about, that's what domestic violence is about, is one person having power and control over another person. And once we empower the person who has no power to get their power back and reclaim that and take their lives back, that's what we're here for.
And that's why these survivors are taking that big step to get out of that situation and regain that power over their own lives or their children's lives.
That is correct.
And that's very important. Well, thank you both for coming in this morning. If folks would like more information about the event that's coming up on October 20th, can they buy tickets on their website? Where can they go?
Yes, they can go to the website on Family Crisis Center. it's familycrisiscenternm.org. And we're also going to be able to give away 2 free tickets today.
We're going to do that right now, right?
Awesome, yes.
That's
These
right.
tickets are courtesy of Brew Cafe from Navajo Lake Marina.
Thank you very much, Brew Cafe. Yeah, very good. So we will do that for caller number, pick a number, 1 to 5. You two? 5. I'll help you. Okay, 1 to 5 here. Caller number 5 will get 2 tickets to the Boots and Bling Swing for the Family Crisis Center. You call us up this morning at KSJE. The number here is 505-566-3909. 566, I had to think about it for a minute. 566-3909 is the number to KSJE. We'll take caller number 5 for a pair of free concerts to go check out Aaron Crawford performing live at the Boots and Bling Swing coming up on Saturday, October 20th. Thank you again, all of you, for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. From my guest from the Family Crisis Center here on KSJE. And back with more in just a moment on KSJE. The time is 8:26.